It's a DACCCAST. It's a DACCCAST. It's a DACCCAST. DACCCAST. Cause I said it's a DACCCAST. It's a DACCCAST. It's a DACCCAST. 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 DACCCAST.
You're listening to DACCAST, produced by students of Danville Area Community College. And now your hosts, Kaya and Keegan.
Yo, 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 it's Kaya and Keegan here from the basement of the clock tower.
Here on DACCAST, we get to know the familiar faces we see all over campus in hopes that students at DAC and members of the community get to know each other a little better.
With that being said, we are here with a member of the administration, Mrs. Stacy Ehmen.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
All right, we have some questions to kick it off.
Awesome.
Okay, so name one colleague who's the most likely to escape a deserted island alive.
Good question. I'm going to go with Brian Hensgen right now. I don't know. He seems pretty resourceful.
His security background.
Yeah.
Okay, and then for the rest of your life, if you could choose one team member to work with, who would it be?
For the rest of my life. I've been here for almost 30 years, so that's a lot of my life.
That is.
Gosh. I would say, God, there's so many of them, quite frankly. That's the best part about DAC. Right now, I would say Carla Boyd, just because she helps me with a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very resourceful.
Yeah.
Yes. I need it all.
So, if you could just do us a favor, introduce yourself and tell us your role here at the college.
Okay. My name is Stacy Ehmen, and I am the Vice President of Student Services here at the college. I started, kind of have a similar path to Laura Hensgen, if everybody's been keeping up with your DACCAST. I came here right out of high school from Schlarman, so a very small school. Wasn't ready to go to a four-year school. So I came here for 2 years, then transferred to the University of Illinois, came right back and started working in 1991, and I haven't left yet.
Gotcha.
So I did not start as the VP of Student Services, though. Kind of worked my way up.
Yeah,
So.
Gotcha. So, pre-COVID, what did a normal day look like for you?
Well, that's also one of the best things. There really isn't a normal day in my position because being over all student services and involved in so many things, every day is different. But with student services, like the admissions and financial aid and advisement trio, we've got the Child Development Center, we have athletics, security, threat assessment. Mm-hmm. So there's always something different. And then if that doesn't change, the group of students coming in every year changes. So I just have to be prepared to do everything, but lots of meetings sometimes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So if I want to get work done, you got to squeeze it in between or at night.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And you said you went to the U of I, right?
Yes.
So could you walk us through your background? You said you went to high school at Schlarman.
Right.
And then did you want to walk us through that?
Sure. I came here, had a great counselor, Linda Heron, God rest her soul, and I earned 68 credit hours, transferred over to economics at the University of Illinois. I always knew I wanted to do something business. I love number, I love data, I love people, so kind of mix it. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of fell into it. So it's the hardest thing in the world to pick what you want to do for career-wise.
Yeah.
But I fell into it. I took 2 years at U of I, came back here. What is now the Vermilion County Works was JTP back in the day, and I started here helping students and clients find jobs in the community, how to interview, how to fill out resumes and applications. You'd be surprised on some of the crazy things that people put. Yeah, there's a good amount of editing that needs to be done most of the time. But so that was getting my feet wet at DAC, and then I did institutional research, then I did director of admissions and records registrar. And that I was the recruiter at that time too. So I'd go out to all the high schools. I love that. Talking to the seniors and juniors. We did dual credit back in those days. So that was kind of when it really started expanding. So And then just kept going, and now I'm over student services. So I'm finishing my 29th year here.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you said you went around to local high schools. That was a few years ago, right?
Well, it was a few years ago. I said in my job, I get to travel to Jamaica and Paris.
Yeah.
However, they're both in Illinois. So, yeah, all the way from Milford to Paris. We go over to Oakwood, and then I'd go to a lot of the Indiana schools, the 7 counties that border our state, because we offer them a special discount. So it was great because you just meet so many different people. People see me in the store, they'll be like, "Oh, there's the DACC lady." So I'm like, "Oh, I've been called worse." So.
And so tell us all of your roles that you've had here at DACC, because you said you didn't start out as Vice President of Student Services. So how'd you get here from there?
Right. It just happenstance, and I always tell students, because I do advise students too, and through my roles here and still to this day, who you know is as good as what you know too. By a degree
totally agree.
is totally important. From my best friend growing up, she would say hello to everybody and be very inquisitive and ask questions. And I always called it, "You're always building bridges." And she's just constantly. But that was one of my biggest turning points from learning, because the people next to me, that person could hire me one day, or their parents could hire me one day, or they could just have an in about a job or a grant or whatever it might be. And people, especially nowadays, I'm so glad I didn't grow up with phones. So sorry. But I did write notes back in my day. Gotcha. But I feel like people, and I'm probably missing a lot too, because I was thinking about this. I think people miss a lot, looking down a lot, but you guys are also looking at a lot and have access to a lot more. So I will.
There's pros and cons to it all.
Right, right. I just watch my kids. I have a senior in high school and a senior in college, and I just get out and do things and meet people, be respectful, look them in the eye, shake their hands. And my daughter has found that very helpful, but I did that because of who I babysat for one day. I had a good job lead, and it just progressed from there. I loved my job at DACC. I wanted to be a part of Danville. I love the community. I know I'm going to work on you with all your Danville connections here and show you all the good stuff. I just met people, and then I would join committees and teams because I knew I probably wouldn't stay in the entry-level position forever. And I loved numbers, but then I missed people. So the director of admissions position combined numbers and data, and I got to do recruitment and people. So for me, that was the best of both worlds. When I was doing institutional research, I was dying in my office.
Yeah.
I was just wilting away with numbers and spreadsheets, which I do love, and they're so much easier sometimes. Yeah. But I had to find what's right for me. So my son right now is trying to figure out what he wants to be when he grows up as a senior. Yeah. And I said, you have to do what you love because you're at your job more than you are with your family and your husband or wife or whoever. And so if you're not happy for 40 hours a week, you're going to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So money's important.
Yeah.
But so director of admissions, that opened the role because all of my positions I've learned a little bit about everything, and I just kept getting involved.
Yeah.
So
can you tell us a few of the committees you've been on since in your time here? Maybe just a handful.
Millions. We are a lean, mean fighting machine, DACC is. We don't have tons of vice presidents and assistant vice presidents and deans and directors. I mean, we are small and mighty, so if you work here, you do a lot. Yeah. And so for example, like student support and development team, academic affairs, student experience. We have like vice president's meetings. I have my student services administrative team meetings. I volunteer for the national tournament. We've done none of those sound fun. I'm so sorry. The national tournament, I love. I do the camera crew. That I love gotcha. That. And right now everybody's kind of dogging the camera angles for the NCAA games right now. And I'm like, well, that's because they're up, north.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you can get involved in anything. They can do Operation Santa, where we get gifts for families on campus that don't have a lot of resources right now. One of my staff members leads that, and she does an amazing job for many years now. So,
Yeah.
lots of things.
Gotcha.
Wow.
So we heard you were a big sports fan,
I am.
and we heard you like U of I.
I am.
Did that
I
start
do.
early childhood, or did that start when you attended
Yeah.
U of I?
Cubs, Bears, Illini.
You're very much
And
so like
the
go
Jaguars.
Illinois.
I am. I am a creature of habit, so but I do love it, and it's just killing me with COVID because U of I with the basketball. I'm just waiting for the ball to drop. That's no pun intended on that. But I'm so looking forward to watching this team, and I've got to.
Yeah.
And I don't care if I'm not in the stands. I just love watching basketball. I love baseball. I do like football. I don't understand it as much, but I do like it. I love the Jaguars. I love cheering on our teams here.
Yeah.
I know everybody dedicates a lot of time to it, and it's a full-time job outside of school.
Yeah, it
So-
really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, if there's one thing I miss more than anything about COVID, it's attending a sporting event and just being able to sit in the stands.
Yep.
So.
Yep, the tailgating's good too. I don't know if you're old enough to do that.
To get the full experience
Yeah,
of tailgating.
Yeah. I love to cheer them on, and I have rivalries because Cubs cards,
Yeah.
it's big.
Yeah.
And lots of people like to hate on the U of I, but I'm a diehard. Well, I loved the Cubs from day one, so I have a lot of faith.
I was gonna ask if you were a bandwagoner after that
No,
World Series win.
no.
How many years ago was that?
I was
Yeah,
born
the
into
Cubs.
it. No, but we enjoyed the heck out of every moment of that.
Yeah.
There are so many people in Cincinnati that have just come out as Cubs fans ever since they won the World Series. Like, I'd say it was 2 years ago. I went to a Reds game, and the Reds were terrible. They were like 20 games under 500, and the whole stadium was sold out when they played the Cubs because there were so many Cubs fans there.
Well, we go there because it's so much cheaper.
Really?
Yeah, it's easy to go. We love to hang out in downtown Cincinnati,
Yeah.
and the games are cheaper. Yeah, I've been there several times.
Really?
I was probably there.
You probably were.
Yelling in your ear.
That was one game that the Reds actually won that year. So
Oh, gosh.
we
Hope I
heard
wasn't
we heard that your husband's a farmer. So
He
tell
is.
us about that and how it impacts the community and what that's been like.
Okay, well, he is a farmer, which I really knew diddly squat about. I live here. You would think I would know a lot, but when
you're
you live
surrounded
in
by it.
Danville, it's kind of bubble. And I went to U of I, drove by cornfields and bean fields, and didn't really pay attention. My uncle even owned grain elevators, but so I met him, and I have a little quiz for you two. Can I quiz you guys?
Sure.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. How many corn cobs are on a stalk? Would you guess?
6.
Whoa. I honestly want to say like 1 or 2. I thought
It is. It's one.
that's what I thought.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I can relate. You're very good. Very.
Yeah. Well, my brother's a farmer.
Oh, yeah. So one. That always blows everybody away. So
Yeah,
a little bit of.
it
So
is
I
crazy.
I thought he grew green beans when I met him too. I thought when you walked beans, you just picked them off the stem. And, so, but anyway, his grandfather, he was blessed to have a family farm. So his grandfather came over from Germany, put all of his time and effort and money into buying land. So that's nice because nowadays you just can't go in and be a farmer.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
expensive, and there's big farmers making it a huge industry.
Yeah.
So, but I've learned a lot. My kids love it. I've driven tractors now. My life evolves around the weather. I never knew how much
yeah.
the weather was going to be a part of my life. But he also has a full-time job too, just so you can have benefits. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's hard to do nowadays.
So how does that work in like harvest season and stuff like that? Because my brother would be out in the field for 17, 19 hours in a day.
Right. He does work a lot. And those times he doesn't sleep a lot, but
Yeah.
you save your vacation time. And
Okay.
yeah, luckily he has a job it's a full-time job, but
Wow.
yeah,
That's
it works.
impressive.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about our inner podcast connection that you two have?
Oh, yeah. So I heard you have a son. You adopted a son from Russia.
I did. Yes, John Michael. That's
Aw,
my
That's really
senior.
interesting. Well, so I was adopted from South Korea. So it was really interesting to hear about an international adoption. I don't hear about those very often around here.
He was almost 3 when we got him. My daughter was 6, so I kind of wanted them to be a little bit closer to just be able to hang out. That never really worked. Just the opposite. One of my favorite parts about being here at DACC was I was in charge of international students.
Oh, yeah.
And so I loved that because growing up here and going to U of I didn't get out of my bubble too much.
Yeah.
And I just learned so much. The students are so much fun, and it's just amazing the things you learn. I hope as an athlete, maybe you can meet some international students, sometimes a little bit easier. But that's when we decided to adopt.
Yeah.
And John wanted a boy. He's the last Ehmen, and his parents were only children for farming.
Yeah.
Not that he has to farm, but in case he wants to. And you could adopt little boys easier in Russia. And they had older children. So we went over there, and it took 9 months from start to finish, and it was amazing. And he's the most amazing young man.
Yeah.
So I'm really, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
So we saw a picture of him, and I'm guessing you don't get a lot of people noticing that he's adopted because he looks just like your daughter.
I know. In fact, one family grounded their daughter because they thought she was making an awful lie about him, and like, you just don't say things like that.
Oh my
and
goodness.
the family called me, and I'm like, no, he's adopted. I mean, we call him the Russian, so it's not like we hide it.
Yeah.
I just thought, small communities, people are going. I never thought about hiding it. I want him to know who he is and to be very proud.
Yeah.
And, work through things if he has things to work through or whatever. But it's amazing. He's awesome. Yeah. Until 18, I'm not going to let him go back to Russia because he could be pulled into the Russian army until after he's
Really?
18. Yeah. So I'm going to leave that alone. Because one day I would like to take him back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you get done with your work day, what's the first thing you do when you go home, whether it's a hobby or just...
I run.
You run? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a runner. That's how I pound out my frustration. Every night I run about 6 miles, and
Oh, wow.
I know, but it's a stress reliever and it's healthy.
Yeah.
So I literally pound out if I had a bad meeting or a crazy problem I can't figure out, or my kids are driving me crazy, it's amazing what you can do pounding it out in the country.
Yeah.
You don't have to think.
So you run on back roads and on a treadmill?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm a little fair weathered. It's really windy out in the country. I had no idea because we live out in the country between here and Champaign.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So is there something in your life that you're doing now that you wish that you had started doing earlier? Or like advice that
good
you would
question.
give yourself earlier in your life?
I should have written out a bucket list a long time ago because now I just feel like, there's no time to do that.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll get that when I retire. I don't know. But maybe just being more adventurous, stepping out of my shell and making myself do things or meet people that weren't just like me.
Yeah.
That's easy. It is comfortable, but I learn so much more, and sometimes it's more rewarding when you meet people and you step out and you learn things and you do things. Even if you fail at it, you can say you tried it. But that'd probably be. I got one of my big goals was a master's degree, so I did that. It would be nice to have a doctorate, but not going to do that.
Gotcha.
No.
Yeah.
What's pushing you away from getting a doctorate? The thought of it?
Oh, well, yeah, that's a lot of writing, and I'm too close to retirement.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah. I don't need to be a doctor.
Okay, so in your career right now, you don't want to get a doctorate, but what are your goals? Do you have things in mind that you would like to see happen before you retire?
Yeah, I would love to see student services be better off when I leave than when I started.
Yeah.
I think really, we just have to be really resourceful here, and students have more challenges nowadays, especially with COVID and the economy and the world we live in. It's challenging, it's stressful, and I just want to make it a great experience. I want more people to know about the community college. totally baffles me sometimes on how little people know about community colleges and how sometimes community colleges are, brushed off.
Yeah.
You get the same bachelor's degree, but you pay about half the cost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense in every sense of the way. But so just, pushing the community college mission and helping, others see it, and just improving technologies and helping my different departments be able to do the things that they want to do, and, giving them resources and stuff and just supporting them.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, like you said, with technology, I'd assume you've seen a lot of changes in technology and how
Amazing.
we use tools here at DACC in your years, right?
Yes. Yeah. We started with Lotus 123, which was the old Excel. And, it was just crazy things. And, now we have DACCAST and
Yeah.
mobile apps and scanners.
Yeah.
Thank God for email. And I love Zoom meetings, quite frankly.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave. See, I really
Yeah.
like my bubble sometimes.
Gotcha.
So I think it's amazing, and I'm just along for the ride. I'm definitely not going to fight it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So what do you think is the best way to shake that stigma of junior colleges and community colleges compared to big four-year schools?
Information, just laying the information and the data out there, it's amazing. People speaking up that started at a community college. Just the economics alone, I just don't see why people don't see it.
Yeah.
So I totally understand some people need to go away and experience, and that's fine as long as they do all of that. But if they're not going to go away and do that, just start at a community college.
Yeah.
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 So, and, quite frankly, I started at Schlarman, and then I came to DACC. I was with the same group of classmates from kindergarten to senior year, basically. So when I came to DAC, I met so many people in my classroom. The athletes were from all over the place, so I met people from there. I met adults in my class.
Yeah.
I got a job from that, meeting people in my class. So that really branched out. If I would have gone from Schlarman to U of I think I would have really freaked out.
Yeah.
So that just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So I definitely needed those steps.
Yeah, I was going to say, it is a really, really good stepping stone.
It is.
Yeah, I agree.
We are going to move on to our rapid fire question segment called DAC Attack.
1, 2, 3, 4. Deck attack, 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 deck attack.
I mean, that's it?
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Mornings or evenings?
Mornings.
Lake or ocean?
Lake.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Jordan or John Michael?
I plead the fifth.
Laura answered that one when we asked her.
Eat in or dine out?
Dine out.
Volleyball or baseball?
Baseball.
All right. That was pretty
That was
good.
good.
I'm not
Okay.
going to lie.
That was
That
very
is
good.
really good. Well, okay. Thank you so much, Stacy, for being here. We had a lot of fun today.
Thank you guys so much. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited for this. You guys are amazing. You guys do great jobs, and I'm going to share it with all of my 2 friends. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, thank you very much. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for listening. This has been the DACCAST with Kaya and Keegan.
Stay classy, Jaguars.